The Sonic series lore is complex. It began with aliens from an unknown corner of the universe using mysterious jewels in order to power their technology, until they were killed off by a god of destruction. Governmental issues, time travel, more aliens. However, it wasn't always this complicated. The original concept surrounding the Sonic series, at the time one game, was an environmental one. An anthropomorphic hedgehog trying to save his friends in a land he cared so much about from an evil doctor hell-bent on enslaving and destroying it all. A sort of take on climate change and the mistakes of mankind. Even now, Sonic stands for freedom. He bases his core ideology around free will and a sort of natural order of things. So what would happen if we take all of that away? Replace feeling with lines of code. Replace a sense of freedom with a law to serve. Replace a sense of morality with the need to destroy. Replace the organic with the inorganic. Take his green eyes, like the fields of grass he runs through in his free world, and replace it with malice and blood. Soft white gloves, replaced with sharp points that could pierce through anything. And most importantly, a heart and soul that yearns for freedom and adventure. Replaced with a hole. A weapon. An unfeeling engine.
Sonic, dead or alive, is mine.
Little Planet, a small celestial body that appears over Never Lake every year for just 1 month. Wanting to use the time stones on Little Planet for his own nefarious plans, Robotnik sets off, but he isn't alone this time. You see, having already failed to the Hedgehog twice, Robotnik came prepared. Along with his regular badniks, he also brought along his newest creation, a machine that could rival his greatest adversary not only in strength, but speed. Metal Sonic isn't just a Sonic clone. Robotnik created him to spit on Sonic's face. The existence of Metal goes against every single thing Sonic stands for, while the existence of Sonic denies Metal's very own. Why does Metal race Sonic instead of just fighting? Simple. To take Sonic's best trait, his speed, outmatch him, and prove himself to be the superior Sonic, the true Sonic. We first see him kidnapping a resident fortune teller of Mirage Island, Amelia, who went off to Little Planet after reading she would have a destined encounter with White Knight. Fortunately for her, she was met by Metal Sonic first, who promptly kidnapped her. Either Metal confused her for Sonic somehow, Robotnik didn't want anyone on his new planet, or he knew he could use her as bait to draw in Sonic. Either way, it worked, and now it's up to Sonic to rescue her. They finally duke it out on Stardust Speedway, where Metal challenges Sonic to a race. I really love this for 2 reasons. For one, their speed are their best attributes, so pitting them in a race is pretty cool. However, it also paints the situation in a darker light. Think about it. Robotnik isn't trying to outright kill Sonic. While Sonic could die in this race, given the laser and the trap at the end, he's mocking him. You can even hear it in the game's music. He's confident in Metal, but he also feels that even if Metal loses this game, Sonic still won't be able to stop him. It shows just how dire the situation on Little Planet was. However, Metal loses. He's scrapped by Robotnik's own trap at the end of the race, and because of Little Planet's disappearance, he's left up there, unable to be used or restored by the Doctor. For now.
There is no circumstance that you can handle. When you use your mind, Mr. Bad got it good, but this ain't his neighborhood. He's taking over. No, no. Time is now.
As months and years pass, Robotnik attempts to create new Sonic clones, even one resembling Metal, and while some may come close, they aren't a match for Sonic & Co. We see a return of the original Metal Sonic in Mania thanks to the Phantom Ruby. Robotnik even builds his new base on Little Planet. Learning from his past mistakes, however, the Doctor decides to make a few upgrades to this Metal Sonic, or it may have been the effects of the Phantom Ruby. Either way, however, it still wasn't enough, as the upgrades given to Metal were already bested by the crew before. Fortunately, in my original timeline video, I neglected to mention Sonic 4. It was seemingly retconned by Sonic Mania, but after some more research and consideration, I'd say it's still canon, so let's fix that now. Episode Metal. After being abandoned on Little Planet, Robotnik finally retrieves Metal using a probe. Metal is still languishing in Stardust Speedway after being defeated there. Continuity-wise, this is actually the first playable version of him. The Doctor shocks him back to activity and tells him to return to Earth, since Little Planet is currently close to Earth's orbit. Each act in this short episode serves the purpose to restoring Metal to his original battle-ready state, making him even stronger than before, until he catches up to Sonic in White Park. This is where his story in Episode 2 begins. He faces Sonic and Tails a few times, before fighting them again in the Death Egg MK2. Rather than a race, Robotnik's learned from his mistakes, and chooses to fight alongside Metal this time. However, this doesn't change much, and Sonic and Tails manage to take them down, along with the new Death Egg. Something interesting that you may notice is that Metal Sonic and Robotnik's partnership mirrors Sonic and Tails quite a bit. In fact, their traits line up perfectly, but they reflect as opposites, with Metal being to Sonic what Eggman is to Tails. But instead, the roles are reversed, with the Genius taking the leadership role. It goes further than this. We already explored Sonic's free will versus Metal's servitude to the Doctor, but whereas Tails is a true companion in Sonic, someone who would never do him wrong, Robotnik, on the other end, needs to create artificial life in order to imitate this. Likewise, rather than remaining loyal, Metal's backstabbed the Doctor before. We'll talk about that soon. Robotnik, now Eggman, would go about attempting to make a few new robotic Sonic models, but eventually he would lean back into Metal. This, however, would be his downfall, as in Sonic Heroes, rather than working with the Doctor as a sort of second in command, he takes a spotlight as the main villain. He traps Eggman in his own fortress, and manages to get everyone together in one spot to take them all out. Like him and his other model have done before, he transforms into a mechanical beast, and it's up to everyone to take him down. However, this form is much more powerful than before, and the Chaos Emeralds are needed this time around. After this, we don't see Metal Sonic for quite some time, ever again.